Why is it so hard for people to accept that the vast majority of sexual assault perpetrators are men? Earlier this week, we said that there should be a Me Too hashtag for men to accept responsibility for sexual assault and harassment. Strong call, many opinions, but there was one in particular that kept popping up.
Thought this was going to highlight the fact that men get sexually assaulted.
Disappointing when you had a chance to give men who have been
I thought this was going to be Me Too addressing men who've been sexually assaulted and harassed.
I use the term men instead of perpetrators because they're almost synonymous. An overwhelming majority are male. All sexual assault offenders in 2015, 93% were men. Of all sexual assault victims, 80% were women. Now, the only thing these stats tell us, the only thing, is that the vast majority of offenders are men and the majority of victims are women. That's it. They don't say it's only men. They don't say it's all men. They just say most offenders are men. And not most like 51% or 60% or 80% or 90%. It's 93%. Now, my instant reaction to that is, whoa, 93%, that's a thing. How do we stop that from being a thing? But when it gets brought up, I find people's responses are twofold. They either say, not all offenders are men, or not all victims are women. And they're right. In fact, a fifth of all sexual assault victims are men, and principally boys. A fifth! That's huge! And I'd wager that not many people actually know that. But here's the thing, whether the victims are men or women, it doesn't change that perpetrator statistic. And when we talk about that statistic, no, we don't have to give the same time and weight to female offenders in every instance as though they offend in the same way and with the same frequency, because they don't. That's not to say that they don't exist or that we shouldn't talk about them, but that 93% stat unequivocally says that we have a problem of male sexual violence. And here's why I think it might be hard to accept, and it's kind of spelled out by the Bureau of Statistics of all places.
Most sexual assault victims knew their offender, which may include an ex-partner, friend, acquaintance, neighbour, employee, employer, co-worker, guardian, carer, teacher.
Offenders are everyday people. They're not just some creepo leaping out of the bushes at you in a dark park somewhere. Someone the victim knows, and that's the reality. And if you don't look squarely at that stat, even for a second, how are you supposed to change it?